Oh, look, another travel and Vino video.
Woohoo!
Woohoo! I know you guys have been sitting around waiting on this. Welcome back. So today we're going to talk a little bit about Portugal and our time there in Portugal. We spent 6 weeks. If you've been following along, you remember we did the Camino de Santiago back in September, October. Mid-October, we decided to head to Portugal. So we spent 3 weeks in Porto, Portugal, which is up in the northern part of Portugal, and then we spent 3 weeks in the Algarve, city called Albufeira. I'm sure I'm saying that incorrectly, but it looks like Albufeira when you look at it as an American, so there you go. You can find it on a map. I'll show you here. So yeah, let's talk about Portugal, and I think the first thing we did was
The Douro Valley,
yeah, we spent a couple days. We rented a car, drove out to the Douro Valley.
which is just, it's beautiful and it's all just amazing wineries. Definitely reminds us of California because of the expense and the experience.
Crazy expensive there.
Yeah, just tons of boat tours. I feel like that show up in all. There's 3 or 4 different little villages in the Douro Valley where you can stay and or where there's different wineries.
Yeah, we probably don't do it like a lot of tourists do. I mean, people go there and they want to do the whole experience and the tour and everything like that. And that's probably a good way to do the Douro Valley. We kind of wing it and went on our own, and the hotel we stayed at was crap. I would never recommend that place again. But, you know, the town was nice, and it was just all about the cruises, and it was all about the winery tours and experiences and stuff. And it was kind of pricey, so... What's funny is, I mean, we were able to go to the grocery store and get a bottle of wine for $3 or $4. Very good wine. Excellent wine.
Would never do that in Austin.
Could never do that in Austin. I mean, and you go to these wineries and they were crazy expensive. But so the weather wasn't that great in the Douro Valley either, if I remember.
No, we lost our sun, and so it was really cloudy and overcast.
Yeah.
And but anyway, I mean, it is beautiful. If you know you're into wineries, it's a beautiful place to go. We spent 2 or 3 days there, and then we went in, dropped off the car, and then just walked all over Porto for 3 weeks.
Yeah, so we stayed in Porto, which we'd been there one time before, and this is our second time back, and we really wanted to kind of get to know the city. It's very, very touristy downtown. I mean, there were just massive crowds of people, which just kind of blew us away a little bit. But we were able to find places to go and get away from the crowds. Let's talk about our place that we stayed at, our Airbnb there.
It was good except for the construction next door. So it had a nice little terrace and a bunch of cats that would always come and check us out. But it was hard to be out there except on the weekends just because the guys would show up and they're pretty much like right there. I mean, you can't escape them, so there's really no privacy on that. But the location of it was fabulous. I mean, it was kind of a small little place, so not very big. So it was really nice that it was safe and walkable. So when Jeff would work, I could just take off and go do my own thing.
Yeah, I never worried about you. I mean, it was like, you know, the safety. Portugal's so safe, it's unreal. I mean, we were able to walk around anywhere we wanted to, never felt nervous or sketchy or anything like that.
And we were like 2 blocks away from one of the big shopping streets that they block it off, and so you can just walk up and down it, and then just, you know, maybe a mile from the Douro River. Yeah. So, I mean, everything was super close to where we were, which was really, really nice.
There's a lot of hills there.
Oh my goodness.
And there's a lot of construction going on there. So they're
construction.
repairing the roads or doing infrastructure or whatever it is.
Yeah, a lot.
There's a lot of buildings that are being renovated, you know, like the one next to us, like you mentioned. You know, they were good about not starting before 8:30. Yeah. And they were usually done by 4:30, 5 o'clock at the latest. But during the day, it was like, you know, construction noise and jackhammers and just all kinds of stuff. And like you said, they were right there outside of our patio. So we didn't get to enjoy it as much as we would have liked.
Right.
So,
but we did, so we said that it was kind of touristy and very crowded where we were. We ended up walking out to the Foz area, which was by the beach. And that was mostly locals and super nice.
It was, yeah.
We like that area a lot.
I'd go back there for sure. Porto, it's become a very popular hotspot for. I mean, I think a lot of those cruises that we were talking about, they go to the Douro Valley, kind of go out of Porto. So you see a lot of those boats moored right there downtown in the river, and so that brings a lot of the tourists in. But Porto in general has been discovered, I think, on the tourist stops.
But the sangria is amazing,
the sangria
because
was
they
really
put
good.
port wine in there, and then the food was really good. They have these pork sandwiches that are just melt in your mouth.
Let's talk about the food.
The custard pastries, which is
the famous
Pastel de Nata.
Pastella de Nata.
I think I probably said that wrong. Just really good food. Lots of sardines, which we're not a huge fan of, but they were all right. And croquetas, of course, and just
found some tapas places that we like again.
And
tapas.
Wine bars, and of course, shocking.
What about like volunteering and stuff? We couldn't find really much opportunity there for that either, did we?
No, I reached out to a few people and heard back from one lady, but then never really heard about anything else. I mean, I was trying to get involved more in like food banks, and because there are some homeless people, not a ton, but you do see their presence some. And so I'm still working on that. So I'm going to get it down the next place we go to, and we'll hopefully have some good stories about community service that we were able to do.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, Porto is thriving. I mean, it really shocked me between the time we were there before and this time, which was, I think, 9 years ago, maybe. So, just how much is going on there. And so, yeah, that was fun. So we stayed there for 3 weeks.
And the food markets were
awesome. The food market.
And
yeah, let's talk about the food market.
So there was lots of other stuff going on also. So.
I'll put that in here, but there was this one food market, which was maybe, 5-minute walk from our apartment. Phenomenal. Loved it. I mean, there was so many stalls that you can go from one stall to the next. You get a glass of wine for €2, €3 maybe. Walk around, sample different stuff. Meats, cheeses, croquetas, prepared food. I mean, just flowers, fruits, anything you could even imagine. It was amazing, and it was big, and it was very localized too. I mean, there were tourists for sure that were coming in there taking pictures and stuff, but there were also like local Portuguese people that were just, hey, that's where they're going for lunch kind of thing. So that was kind of fun. We really enjoyed that place.
Yeah.
We went to a couple other markets too that were okay.
Right. They were more just restaurant type stuff in there, and not so much the produce and the cheese and meats and things like that. So it was more definitely. But the people working would show up there for lunch, and so that was kind of cool. But
cost wise, what do you think about Porto? More expensive than you thought? Less expensive?
I think everything has gotten a little bit more expensive, unfortunately. So, the wine was a good price, and some of the restaurants that we found were a good price. So, we did try and look for more local places that weren't expensive. So it was all right. We didn't do any excursions or anything like that. We just kind of walked around and checked out the city and all the different neighborhoods.
I
that
think
was great.
So. I don't know about you, but I lost a few pounds on the Camino, and I think that helped us continue, maintain that a little bit. Just walking, 8 miles a day or whatever it is, 10 miles a day, really did help keep us a little bit fit.
And then after that, beginning in November, I guess, November 8th, we ended up taking a train to the Algarve, which is the beach area in the south end of Portugal. I didn't realize that you could actually get car sick.
In a train. Yeah. Lori wasn't feeling, she was starting to turn green on that train. It's like,
too much shaking this way.
It was a high-speed train, and on the corners it would tilt, and it was really weird feeling. It was like you're in a race car kind of thing. Yeah. So you didn't like that very much.
No. So anyway, but we got there, and we were in a fabulous place. I mean, we were right across the street from the sea and the marina. And so we had a great balcony that we could sit out there all the time. Huge place, really, really nice.
Very nice.
And then, right around the corner was a great little Italian restaurant. And then a couple of miles away was the marina, and it had just, a strip of restaurants and bars. And cafes and things like that.
Grocery
and then,
stores,
yeah, the main town. Also, I mean, the whole town was just so walkable that you could just.
Yeah, so let's talk about the town of Albufeira. It's known as what, the British Cancun. So you go downtown and there's just a ton of these British bars and pubs and Irish bars and stuff. And it's kind of funny. I mean, we kind of enjoyed it, but we didn't spend a lot of time down there. But it was just fun to walk through and just see all the how do I say, older white British tourists that come there to drink and just kick back and relax. It was kind of enjoyable, but yeah, where we were was a nice, we were a little bit away from the town, downtown. We were in a nice spot, great apartment, like you said, great balcony. And the only downside of that apartment really was just the noise, because the street was right there, and so, you know, we'd hear the trucks or buses or whatever come by once in a while, but it was nice. It was really nice. I mean, you could just, I'll put a couple pictures in here, obviously, but yeah, we really enjoyed.
And just the amount of beaches. I mean, there was just little beaches, little coves everywhere.
Yeah, you could walk for an hour and see 5 different
yeah. And then, you know, if y'all remember the pictures, I mean, it's just all the fantastic rock formations in there were great.
The coast, yeah, the coast of South Portugal is very unique, and it's a lot of erosion kind of rocks and stuff. So they have all these weird like caves and bridges and things like that. It's kind of neat. But yeah, I tried to tell Lori to stay away from the edges. It made me a little nervous. I don't like that. So, because it looks like it could just slide away at any moment. So.
We did check out a couple. We did a day trip and rented a car, and we went to Sagres, which is what the Portugal people call their end of the world, or the beginning of the world.
Yep.
And that was interesting. And then Lagos was the next little village over, and it was interesting. We probably should have gone and checked out a few more of the villages, but instead we had fabulous friends that came into Lisbon, and it was just too close for us to pass up, and so we ended up going and spending a weekend in Lisbon with them.
That was fun.
Which that town is like Porto, I think, where it's just insanely crowded and tourists.
Well, it was Christmas, you know, turning on the Christmas lights, and it was like the beginning of the Christmas season, so many people there. It was unreal. I mean,
but it's still such a great town.
I've never seen that many people just on the street. It was amazing. I was like, wow. Yeah. Blew me away. So. Yeah. So, any other thoughts about Portugal? That
I will be back. I mean, Portugal is one of our favorite places, just like Spain, and we just love the people are friendly, and they spoke English, and thankfully the Portuguese language is similar enough to Spanish that we could. I mean, there's a little bit of difference in things.
Yeah, the Portuguese will tell you it's totally different, and it is, but
there's enough similarities that we could actually communicate, and it was good. And we actually both ended up getting haircuts while we were there, so that's interesting when you can't really talk to somebody.
You don't have much hair to begin with. No, it's all good.
But no, just a fabulous 6 weeks. We're so happy that we were able to do that, and blessed. And
wish you could have stayed there longer.
I think I was ready.
You're ready to go? Okay. Yeah, after 6 weeks, I mean, I like Portugal. It's easy place to kind of spend some time, especially on the coast. I mean, we had so many nice weather days. We had some crazy weather days too, but I mean, for the most part, it was sunny, mild. I mean, in the evenings, you could open the windows and it was just nice and breezy and cooled off. I thought that was cool. Oh, yeah. And the food's pretty good. I mean, it's a little bit more expensive. Like you said, everything's gotten a little bit more expensive. We were hoping to save a little money there. We ended up, on par, and we're going to do a money video at some point.
We'll do that.
We'll surprise you guys with that. Yeah. But so what else?
Well, I mean, that's pretty much it. And now we are in a little town called Castle Carey in the United Kingdom, so a couple hours outside of London.
Yep, we're pet sitting.
Yeah, we found a house pups. Pet sit, and
there's one up there on the window.
Yeah, so the dogs have been great, and the house is great, and we've really, really enjoyed our stay here. But we are so excited to be back in Austin by Tuesday night. So we'll kind of wrap things up. And I guess if y'all have questions, let us know. And if not, we'll just keep doing little videos like this to update you on kind of our thoughts on what we did and
yeah,
everything
we got
else.
a couple videos that we need to get out that we've been talking about doing some.
And next year's plans and everything like that.
Yeah,
So we'll surprise y'all
budget
next
video
year. So.
next year. Yeah, all that kind of stuff. So,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
good.
yeah. So anyway,
Cheers.
well, I don't know if we need to go into all that explanation.
I know I didn't mean to go into all that. Cheers.
Cheers.
There you go. You got to look into my eyes.
All right, I think that was too long.